Daftaboutcraft, the craft beer podcast.
It is bonus episode time on Daftaboutcraft, and it doesn't happen very often that I'm joined by people in my loft. But I am today. Not one, not two, but three of them. Three guys from Hobsons Brewery in Shropshire. We are joined by Paul, Kyle and Mark. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Now, before we get into it, let's have a little potted history about each of you. We'll start with Mark. What do you do now, and what did you do before you joined Hobsons?
Okay, so now I'm the sales director at Hobsons. I mean, I've got quite an extended list of businesses that I worked in, so make sure you're sitting comfortably. Before that, I was commercial director at Brewery York. While I was doing that, I was UK commercial director at Guilo, which is a brewery in Hong Kong. Before that, I was head of on-trade at Vocation. Prior to that, I was field sales manager at Weston's. Before that, I was national account manager for Aspel. And before that, a customer development executive at Britvic. And prior to that, I used to run pubs.
That's quite a back catalogue, isn't it?
You're going to be very disappointed when you hear Mark.
No, look, everybody has their own experience. So over how many years is that?
19.
Wow.
19 years, yeah.
Kyle's next. Tell us about your involvement in Hobsons and where you came from.
So I am the marketing manager of Hobsons Brewery.
You might recognise him.
Right.
Might recognise him from social media.
See you there.
Such as.
If we see social media, Instagram and TikTok and everything, you're the man who's done it.
Yeah, I'm the man behind that. So I don't really have any experience in the brewing industry. The majority of my time has been spent as a golf manager, which is how I met Mark, and coincidentally kind of ended up at Hobsons as a result of it. Yeah, so my experience in the brewing industry is very slim, but I feel I've dived straight into it.
Are you enjoying it though?
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's been a very interesting change, and I think it's.
And how long have you been there for?
Just over a year now, so about a year and 3 months.
Hobson's social media has really stepped up, and that's obviously you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really even have a background in social media either, so it's
he has youth on his side.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of a change was good for Hobsons. I think we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about, so it was easy to start talking about it, and it's just fall into place, I think.
I agree. I think we needed somebody to sort of shout about what we were doing. It felt like we were almost apologetic about when we were doing cool stuff, and we needed somebody to come in that had the skills to sort of shout about it.
It's really interesting because if you say Hobsons in these parts, because I don't live far from you, been going for a long time, quite traditional beers, but actually in the last 12 months, 24 months, your whole image has changed quite a lot, and I think a lot of that is down to the social media, your influence as well, Mark, with different ideas and different beers. We'll pick up on all of this. Paul's next. He's sitting there waiting to talk.
Yeah, this could be even longer than Mark's.
This is
here today.
This is another interesting one. Go on, tell us your background in beer, Paul.
So I'm area sales manager, sales monkey for this area for Hobsons. Been there about a year and a half. I knew Mark previously. Paths have crossed a few times over the years. Before this, I worked for a tap handle company. I made a sideways move for a very short period of time. Been in the industry I started when I was 12, bottling up in pubs.
You'll have seen the video on our socials if you want to check that out.
Yeah, at the Red Line at Womben. That's video. Where I started my slippery slope in this industry 36 years ago. Did Thatcher's cider for 6 years. 15 years ago, I was sales director for a local cask beer wholesaler. I started a brewery 13 years ago.
Don't say started a brewery. Which brewery was it?
Okay, so with my ex-business partner, Green Duck Brewery in Stourbridge.
So actually, quite a big noise on the beer scene.
Yeah. I just started it at the wrong time, to be honest, for personal reasons. I'd got a 6-month-old at home that wasn't sleeping and a full-time job. It was all too much for me. But yeah, got a lot of respect for those guys and what they're doing. What else? I was head of on-trade for a winery down in Devon. Just loads of booze.
So you've got a huge experience in the industry between the three of you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, the three of us.
Especially you, Carl, obviously. How have you between you changed the brewery over the last few years?
Oh, it's a tough question because it's so many sort of little things that probably feel quite sort of day to day, because there are things that we've always done in different businesses, and it probably feels like not a lot, but I suppose when you look at the total of it, it probably adds up to being quite a lot. As I said, I think there's so much around doing things and being proud to shout about them. I think there was a lot of Hobsons were already doing loads of cool stuff, but almost felt like they weren't taking the really good stuff that they were doing and running with it. It felt like there was brands within the business that were doing very well, and they were very happy just to be known as those brands that were doing well. And I think it was just taking the shackles off a little bit and giving people confidence to go out there and do stuff that's a little bit different.
I mean, because we're in the same sort of area, I see your beers. I've always seen your beers around and about, especially Town Crier. Town Crier is your staple beer. You see it everywhere in these pubs. And
I do make other beers.
Well, exactly. This is it. Exactly, you do. But I always saw Town Crier and thought, oh, look, there's Town Crier from Hobsons. But actually, you make so many other beers as well now, and it's not just Town Crier. There is loads of great beers. You know, your Citra Mosaic, for example, that's in a lot of places now around here. A beer like that, how did that come to be?
Well, that was already a beer that Hobsons had produced a few years before I joined the business. It was a beer that Nick did in collaboration with Brew by Numbers. And it was a special. It was like a 330ml can special that they did a bit of keg with it. And when I came back into the business and I said, we need something like this, they went, what about this? And they handed me this can. And I was like, why don't you do this now? I was like, this sounds absolutely incredible. And they said, yeah, okay, let's brew that again.
I remember seeing that beer a few years ago, where obviously I had no affiliation to Hobsons at the time. I've been there a year and a half. And I remember thinking at the time, seeing that clip, and putting those two breweries together, it was like, wow, that was like really credible.
Yeah.
I'd see Hobson's name with Brew by Numbers at the time.
Yeah, that's quite a mashup you wouldn't expect to see.
No.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that I found, but even from the first time when I got asked to come down and speak to Nick, was completely not what I expected. I wasn't looking to leave Brew York at the time, and I got a phone call asking if I'd come and speak to Hobsons. And I knew Hobsons, be it living in the area, but I thought Hobsons was Town Crier. And that's what I saw. But I said I'd be silly not to, was the answer that I gave on the phone. I'd be silly not to come and talk to you down the road. I'm driving 3.5 hours up to York. And I remember sitting down with Nick, but I showed around the brewery by Freddie, who, to be quite honest, really, really impressed me. And then I sat down with Nick and had about an hour chatting to Nick. And I thought, this is so much more than that. Like, Nick's got this like mad scientist vibe going on, and he was like open to any idea that we were chatting about different ideas and how we saw the trade. And I thought the way I see Hobsons actually isn't, when you're inside it, that isn't what Hobsons is like.
Your initial thoughts are a bit similar to me. Hobsons is Town Crier. He didn't see beyond that, but there is so much more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think we've still got a lot of work to do to convince people of that as well, because I've grown up with Town Crier round here.
Yeah.
Still absolutely love it, genuinely. You know, Hobson's hat off.
He does actually. I can concur with this, because we went out for a drink over Christmas, and no matter what pub we went into, he only drank Town Crier.
I'm loyal to the core.
Except for the last beer of the night when you got us like a...
Yeah, that was a cheeky little...
It was a terrible decision.
Yeah, that was a very bad decision, that was. Yeah.
9%.
But it's interesting, because for being inside now and working for the brewery, kind of frustrates me that people don't know that there is more to Hobsons than Town Crier.
Yeah.
And that's work for us to do.
This is where Carl comes in, getting your profile up on Instagram and all the rest of it, and showing people what you do.
As I said, I don't really have a lot of experience in the brewing industry, and if I'm honest with you, before I started, I didn't really even drink cask.
Yeah, but this is good, because you come to it with a completely...
Exactly. I mean, the beers, especially now having a lager and things like, and these kind of hoppy pale ales, the Hobsons has more for everybody than ever before, and now we are telling people about it. It's a good opportunity.
Well, that was when Kyle joined. We'd previously done a lager with a third party. It didn't work. They had issues at the brewery that meant that it wasn't able to stay around. And we wanted to do an in-house lager, and we bought the kit and we were ready to do it. We wanted to make it with all English ingredients, and we wanted it to shout about the fact that we're sustainable and all the rest of it. And This guy had just joined the business, and his first project was to create a brand and POS and all this stuff. I imagine it was like it straight on top, and the job that he did on the branding and the suite of stuff that we've got to go around Zephyr was absolutely phenomenal. I think it made everybody else. I always knew Kyle was going to be very good at this, but I think it made other people at the brewery go, "This guy's the real deal." Considering we've pulled him out of a golf club.
We're drinking this lager Zephyr right now as we talk to you. But tell us a little bit about this beer, because again, you wouldn't expect Hobsons to make a beer like this. It's a very modern tasting beer.
Yeah, we wanted to make a lager that kind of still stayed true to what Hobsons is all about, and we engaged the services of a chap called Carl Heron, who is a brewing consultant, and he's done various senior jobs at some really big breweries across the world, and he's a lecturer on the brewing degree in Nottingham. And we said to Carl, can you make us a lager using all English ingredients with our in-house base malt, which is Thomas Fawcett's Extra Pale Maris? And he said, I'd love to try. And he went away, designed us a recipe, and we brewed it. And it was the first brew. We went, oh my God, what a fantastic job you've done at that.
I'm not even a huge lager fan, but I see Zephyr out and about, and I will have one. I had a couple of pints the other night. It's great.
Yeah, I'm not a lager drinker. I'm cask through and through, like staunch traditionalist, but genuinely, again, Hobson's hat off. I think Zephyr's really, really good. I really enjoy drinking it.
So as a cask person, do you like these modern tasting beers, Hobson's modern tasting beers as well? You appreciate them?
A traditional, not say traditionalist. That makes it's possibly an age thing, but I don't know. I've got a broad range of taste when it comes to beers, but my heart is in cask for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the sustainability angle with Hobsons.
Our strapline is People, Pints, Planet, from the wind turbine, solar panels, ground source heat pump, putting our spent grains back into food for animals. There's a lot of different things that Hobsons do, and again, we probably don't even shout about that enough, really.
You've got to shout more about this stuff. Are you the only brewery that uses a wind turbine? Can't think of
I don't think there will be many.
Let's just say we are.
Yeah,
we'll
put it out there.
Categorically. No, I think, but the thing for us, there's a really delicate balance between shouting about it and coming across like you're greenwashing.
Yes.
Because every brewery now claims to be green. Are just choosing green suppliers, and they don't do anything else. They just choose green suppliers, and it's a really delicate balance to hit where it feels like you're shouting too much.
That's a really good point, actually. Some breweries shout quite loud about this sort of stuff, and you wonder what their actual credentials are. What are they actually doing?
Yeah, naming no names. I've been to some that aren't, that say they are.
Yeah.
Let's just say Brewdog. It's happening now, isn't it? But yeah. Brewdog were one. Never planted a tree in that forest today.
So your wind turbine, how long has that been there? How long has that been in use for?
A long time. 10 years, something like that. It was a long time. I mean,
wow.
the thing with it is that Nick was doing these things when he started the brewery. Nick's always found that as an important part of it. And Nick's tried to be green from before it was cool. And now we try to be careful about how we...
It does feel like a bandwagon type of thing, doesn't it?
It does now. I don't think Hobson shouted about it enough.
No, it should have been shouted about, a good while ago. So you got off. It's not your fault, Carl.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a really interesting point, actually. You start shouting about that sort of thing, and everybody think, oh, God, here we go. Here's another brewery trying to jump on the bandwagon of being green. And there's a lot of bandwagons in beer.
Yeah,
for sure.
But you've been doing this well before everybody else went green. I never realised it was that long. That's fascinating.
I'm just trying to picture the picture of Nick stood in front of it when it first got installed.
Now, we've talked about Nick quite a bit. Just explain who Nick is for listeners who might not know.
Nick Davis is the founder of Hobsons. Started the business 33 years ago. 32 years ago. There we go. And Nick and his dad, Jim, started the business. Nick was a surveyor, and his dad used to own a pub, I think, in Somerset, and sold the pub and then moved up this way. And they were walking along Cleo one day, and Nick said to his dad, I'd love to own a brewery. And his dad said, let's do it then.
Obviously.
Yeah, simple as that. And if you've met Nick, you would understand that Nick goes, let's do something, and they say, yes, let's do it, and then they do it.
Yeah.
And he'll start drawing little drawings and putting it under people's noses. And
So, what part does Nick play in the business now? Is he there at the brewery every day? Is he hands on doing stuff, or is he in the background?
He's hands on. He fits into 3 days what most people fit into 5 days. He's certainly a live wire.
Whereas I do 3 days worth. 5.
Off the record.
I'm not sure you're supposed to tell people that. I said before, we're currently drinking Zephyr Lager. Tell us about how we are drinking this, because this is fascinating.
Yeah, we're drinking it out of what we are calling drafted. Drafted is a 10-litre keg that is filled exactly the same as any other keg, but there's a well inside that holds the gas. Keg coupler on it that's got a tap on top. It dispenses the beer like you would get it dispensed out of a keg. It's a beautiful bit of kit.
Although I'd like to think it was just created for me and our chat now, it's not. This is something that you're trying to roll out more to punters as well.
Yeah, we're trialling it at the moment. So we've currently got, how many customers? 12 on trial at the moment. Basically testing the concept. Is this something, because it's a greener model than what else is out there. This is another thing. This is Nick's baby, by the way. Nick started this project long before any of us were in the business. The idea is that when you get alternatives to at-home drinking kegs, there's no way of getting rid of the keg afterwards, and you have to plug it in.
Yeah.
And this is a unit that doesn't need to be plugged in. You send the keg back to the brewery, and the brewery washes it and refills it the same as they do with any other keg. So it's like a zero waste at-home drinking experience.
A lot of these breweries to the those sort of mini 5 litre.
Yeah.
This is an amplified version of that if you want. This is the full works with the tap and everything and the gas.
Yeah. TBC. I mean, it's information of it is available anywhere, Kyle.
But not particularly, because obviously we were only currently on a trial.
Contact us.
Yeah. Just if you are interested, just drop us an email, or just go onto the website and contact us. It's something that obviously, because we only have a little bit of other taps, we haven't gone out to that many people.
So is there always innovation like this going on? Is there other stuff behind the scenes?
Going back to Nick does never stop coming into the office on a Monday morning and saying, I've had this idea, what do you think of this? And every day we have to go, whoa, reel him in a little bit. But yeah, he always got ideas about how to do things differently. 50% of the time they're fantastic, and we run with them.
Let's hear more about the other 50%.
He knows.
How do you keep him in check? Which one of you keeps him in check?
Carol's our finance director, and Carol keeps us all in check.
Now, all your beers are available in bottles. Why no cans? And is that going to happen at some point?
We have got cans of Zephyr available.
The little ones, the 330s?
Yeah, 330s.
Okay.
And Citra will be available in can soon. So we've always been a business that bottles and bottle conditions.
Yeah.
The challenge for us is that this is like a thing in the brewery where we try to replicate the cask situation at home, and a bottle of bottle conditioned beer is as close to a cask beer at home as you can get. And so we've always done that. We realise that we do have to change, so we're trialling cans, Zephyr, Citra, and there'll be more innovation to come, I'm sure.
And your regular customers who have drunk Hobsons probably all their lives, what do they think of Hobsons in a can? Are they aghast when they see that? Or do they embrace that change?
Because we are fundamentally still quite, in terms of our customer base, still quite traditional, and those customers that only think we do town crier. I think it's probably a big hurdle and work that we've got to do as we get more sort of recognition and credibility in that space. I think Citra Mosaic's probably our gateway into that, isn't it? Zephyr and Citra Mosaic, probably.
So I think that's a job of work for Kyle as much as anything. We have to handle it so delicately so as not to isolate our core customer base. Yeah. And so while we're doing these things, the badges are a little bit modernised. They're not going too far. We're not trying to be Tiny Rebel and doing those kind of like heavily flavoured. Everything has to be true to the product. We would never put an adjunct in beer, for example, because Nick would never allow us to. Ever.
Say that now, you'll be knocking out some sort of toffee stout in a couple of years.
Watch me try. I'll be out of a job.
I find it really interesting, the can thing, and I'm saying this staring at a wall of cans. I just wonder whether things will go full circle. And I've said this to you, Mark, a few times. I absolutely have a passion for 330ml glass bottle beers. And I don't mean the supermarket mainstream, big brands. I got really excited yesterday, and Carly, you're going to take the P now. Thornbridge, I was on their website looking on their shop, and they've got a Jaipur in a 330ml glass bottle, and I got so excited. I just love drinking from a 330ml glass bottle. That's maybe just me.
And you particularly love drinking Jaipur.
And I do, yes. Sponsored by.
Again, check out our socials as a video.
I just wonder whether the whole, I don't want to call it a bubble or whatever, but do things go full circle? There's obviously that 500ml glass bottle is deemed to be traditional, and that caters for probably the bulk of our bread and butter customers that wouldn't entertain a can. Will everybody move to cans, or will that can thing slide away and it comes back? I don't know. It interests me.
I think a lot of that depends on the government. The EPR thing that's happened, where we're getting charged a stupid amount of money to chuck waste in your bin when you've already paid to have that same waste being taken away at home. We don't know where that's going to end up. At the moment, weight is the big thing. Certain things are more expensive than other things. Glass isn't the most expensive item, but it's really heavy. Yeah. And they charge by weight. Yeah. And so we try to use as many easily recyclable materials as possible. So glass bottles, forest film labels, we only use cardboard. There's no tray and shrink involved in what we do. And yet for some reason that's not taken into account. And I think that's going to make a massive difference. Whatever happens with that is the way people are going to end up packing their beer, whatever's the cheapest way.
Do you think that the term craft beer is a good thing or a bad thing?
It's an overused thing. It doesn't. How much meaning does it have now? That's the thing, isn't it? It's been quite overused now for a few years, hasn't it? Before we started recording, we were talking about awards and...
Careful.
We talked about a lot of things. We were talking about awards, and I personally don't pay that much attention to them, because every brewery is an award-winning brewery, whatever award it is and whatever size. So that award-winning thing, I kind of deem it to be the same thing. Like every brewery now will be a craft, won't they? It's just an arbitrary word.
I think my personal view, I mean, we call this a craft beer podcast, and I almost wish we didn't really. I feel as though you're sort of stabbing yourself in the foot sometimes with the term.
Yeah, I do get that. Yeah. I mean, we're traditional, but we're
also craft.
We're as much craft as we are. Not as much, but we're really... Personally, when I started, and again, I'm such a layman in terms of the kind of beer. I was like, because I didn't know that much about beer. I was like, it's just beer.
It's just beer, exactly.
And someone who and when I had my interview, I was like, I like beer. Yeah. I wouldn't deem either of them things. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure some people are like, oh God, that's like a hoppy, florally pale ale. I'm not going to drink it, which is fine.
You're in the majority, though. I mean, we had this conversation when we went out drinking the other week, and we're too close to it. Yeah. That's the problem. We can't switch off. We won't allow ourselves to drink things that we know are owned by the big boys, and because we're so close to it. Yeah. But it's hard sometimes, and I'd love to switch off. I'd love to be the layman and go for a drink with no preconceptions, but I can't. I can't.
I understand that completely. I go out drinking with my brother, and he's the complete opposite of me in terms of he'll drink what he likes. It may be a sweet and fruity cider, it may be a macro lager, but if he likes it, he'll drink it.
Yeah. And there's a good argument for that.
That's a good way to be, really, isn't it? Here's me and you guys. Oh, I'm not drinking that because so and so own that, and I don't like that.
And if you try and impart your wisdom, they just look at you blankly because it means nothing to them. When I was worked for the winery, we did London Wine Week, and I've never been into wine. I'm a one-trick wine. I'm a one-trick pony. I'm a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and that's it.
On a Saturday evening.
Yeah, finish the night off.
You already had 8 beers by then. It didn't taste anything.
It's a pasta thing.
Bottle of the Blue Nun, please.
But there's so much pretentiousness, is that a word?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
now
of course it is.
Great word.
and people would come over and like they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm getting this aroma and and then someone else would come over. I mean, it's all subjective, isn't it? Everybody has a different palate. Everybody kind of, you know, picks up different nuances of a beer or a wine. It's just no one's right and no one's wrong.
No,
It's
not at all.
and it comes back to arguably what you like.
Yeah.
So perhaps those people that are drinking those mainstream beers, if they like it, we should
Is
pipe
it-
down and
Yeah.
just let them get on with it.
I've got that Alan Partridge scene in my head there for that whole conversation.
Which one?
When he's having dinner with the BBC guy. He goes, I'll have a pint of director's bitter.
Yes, yeah.
And he goes, I want to do a really good wine programme. Can I surprise you? I really like wine. Oh, this one's got a snazzy bouquet.
That was me.
It moves us on to an interesting point, though. You know, is there too much snobbery in beer?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
certainly, yeah.
And what can we do to combat that?
Well, I think that's what Zebra have tried to do with indie beer. They say that craft beer isn't a thing, indie beer is the thing.
But to a layman in the supermarket, what's the difference?
That's the problem. That's the problem.
You know,
I saw a headline today and it was the Anti-Clickbait Society on Facebook. I don't know if you follow them. It's basically obviously all these headlines that drag you in for clickbait purposes. And there's a page that's anti that. So it'll take the headline and it'll just strip out all the BS and tell you what it is. And the headline was craft beer sales in decline. And the crux of it was that they are in decline. And this guy's opinion was, I think his exact words were, because it tastes of arse and the hipsters have now moved on to something cooler, which I thought was quite interesting, because I wonder whether there is an element of the hipster thing, and you know,
definitely.
is it
Mead's cooler now, isn't it?
Mead is.
Oh,
cool,
people have been
yeah.
saying that for years. I used to sell mead when I was at the library.
Is there anything you haven't done?
Booze wise, no, not really. Well, cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I guess what you guys do is very clever, though, because you've got that backbone of tradition, and you're just slowly just injecting a bit of modern beer into the business as well.
Do you know, I don't think it's clever. I just think it's genuine.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
totally
that's
agree
the
with what you
difference.
just said.
It feels clever. It feels like we're doing a thing where we're not.
But you're not.
We're just making beer.
Yeah.
We make beer properly.
We have been so traditional for so long, and I think, as you said, there's just more people in the business now that have got more ideas, and people are now more open to having and kind of letting things go down a different route, and it's happening.
And as long as it's done credibly, I think that's the difference. There's so many breweries, and you see it all the time, and some people probably maybe see us in the same light, but very traditional breweries that have kind of seen what's happening over there, over the fence in the craft arena, and gone, oh my God, we need to let's stick craft, let's produce something with Fuggles and Goldings and call it craft, and it's disingenuous.
We remember Timothy Taylor's did a craft beer.
Optical
Storm.
Hopical Storm, that's the one. We had it on the podcast. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It's really, I've never tried it, but you know,
and they didn't need to. Landlord and Boltmaker are just staple brands across the industry.
But that's it, isn't it? Are they getting sort of, they're seeing that over there, that shiny market trend, and kind of jumping on it. And like I said, some people probably look at Acid from Mosaic and think the same.
Well,
you know,
I think that with them it's a great example of them trying to jump onto a bandwagon, not doing it genuinely. It's like, oh, we can knock out this craft beer and sell it to the young folk. But what you're doing isn't that. I hope not. It's genuine.
Yeah, and don't be wrong, this isn't a slagging Timmy Taylor off.
No, not at all.
A brilliant brewery.
Big fan of Landlord. Unbelievable.
Yeah. On that note, we have got a sour coming out next month.
Rhubarb and custard sour. £75.30 if you're interested.
That's one thing I know is never going to happen.
Yeah, but we use real rhubarb and custard. locally grown.
I'm going to say forage from Shropshire.
Yeah, custard forage from Shropshire.
It is a line to tread, isn't it? And like, do you become disingenuous? Do you follow that trend? Do you stick true to your roots? And I think we're straddling the line.
This is the thing,
hopefully,
though,
kind of.
At no point
nicely.
have I felt like we were, like, certainly not intentionally. I've never felt like, certainly not intentionally or personally, have I been trying to do.
Yeah, I get
Something
exactly
like
what you
that.
mean. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I haven't felt like
It's organic.
I haven't
Yeah.
been going, this business needs to be craft.
Yeah.
It's just got that product was there.
Yeah.
It was already there when I turned up.
Yeah, we needed to do more keg,
we need to do
arguably.
that. Like,
Yeah.
And yes, we need to.
We
do more
needed
keg.
a credible portfolio of keg products,
And we had
which
it.
we have with
Yeah.
mild, stout, lager. You know, it's all there.
Yeah.
But we're
Oh,
not.
mild.
Oh.
Make mild great again.
Yeah. Don't take that from me. That was my line.
When Kyle first joined us, I'll let you.
Yeah, let me tell it because I haven't really spoken very
It
much.
was a special moment.
Yeah, so when I started at Hobsons, I sat down and I started on a Monday, and Tuesday is always our tasting day, and we go down in the tap room after we finish work and we all try the beers and we rate them. And I was like, I don't know how to rate a beer. I just drank beer. I was like, and then got my beer tasting wheel out and everything. And one of the beers that was on the side was a mild, and I was
the champion.
the champion.
They're not
mild,
a mild,
yeah. I genuinely, and I remember being sat opposite Kate, and I looked at her and I went, "What is this?" And she was like, "It's our mild. It's like 2007 champion beer of Britain, don't you know?" And I was like,
Was that like a light bulb moment when
It
you
was,
suddenly
yeah,
realised that
No, it
beer
totally
can be
was.
great?
Yeah, and just I was like, "What?" But people don't drink this. I don't get me wrong. Like,
They
obviously,
need
Max,
to know about it.
but yeah, but then like the layman doesn't, do they? They don't. And like, and the way I described it, I was like, "You're telling me this is like 3.2%, and the flavour in it is just incredible." And I was like, "You could have a great session on that all day, and just be like, well,
Yeah.
you still wake up the next day maybe a little bit fuzzy-headed, but like it's just so much flavour in it." And then I found out we had it in keg, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's even better. I was like, add some nitro to it, and it's just
It's such a good product.
What's
That's
amazing?
incredible.
What's amazing is that you've got no experience in the beer industry. You've come into the business, and pretty quickly you've realised how great beer can be.
yeah, definitely. And a range of beers, I think, because that is probably one thing that people exactly like I was, is you go in, you order whatever you always have.
Yeah.
People are creatures of habit. aren't
Yeah.
they?
And I just think there's so much out there, and it's just
Mild's a
incredible.
great example
Yeah,
for that,
exactly.
because it has a stigma, old man beer,
Yeah,
all the rest of it. And funny enough, I've been into 2 accounts today, social clubs, and they kicked out Banks's Mild because of obviously the change in ownership and all the rest of it, and the change in products. They put ours on. But unfortunately, they've kicked ours off because the drinkers thought it had too much taste. They were too challenged, and I was just like, I get it, I understand. Not everybody wants to be challenged when they drink anything, but again, and this is going to come across as some like advert for our mild, but it's such a great beer.
I'll carry that advert on. My local has put our Nitro Mild on. It's been on for about a year now. Guinness drinkers that don't want to drink too much to drive, obviously, have moved on to mild. And it sells. I sit there, watch it. When I sit there having a drink, I watch that tap getting poured all the time.
We've toyed with the idea, haven't we, of changing,
it's
because
stout,
mild, by its very nature, is a low ABV stout. And we toyed with the idea, do we call it a session stout?
Funnily enough,
that be?
we did trial it at the Craft Brew Festival in Birmingham. It must have been last year.
We were
Summer one, wasn't it?
unfortunate. It was
Yeah.
the really hot one.
Really hot one.
Last
When it
summer
was
in Birmingham.
37 degrees. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we called it the Turbine Session Stout.
And the badge was
Badge was
cool
really
as well.
cool, yeah.
Really.
But we were unlucky there because obviously everyone just wanted to drink lager.
Yeah.
Obviously, as I did, and as I did.
If anyone does listen to this who goes to the Craft Brew Festival, he was the one with the fan, and he was fanning everyone. Everyone loved him.
Oh, they'd reckon
It was incredible.
They'd have been very grateful for a bit of fanning that day. Actually, that's an interesting point. Craft Brew Festival, because you were doing a few more dates, a few more venues this year.
We are doing Stoke and Derby, so we've only done Birmingham before.
Yeah.
Only because
Closest
it's
to
a lot
home.
of time out of the business. It's areas that we can sell in as our wholesale network grows. and the wholesalers that are actually doing good volume for us grow, we will go to the areas where it's important for us to be.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
But I'll be honest, absolutely, like, we love those festivals.
Oh, great day out. Yeah,
unbelievable. Like, I would love not to work one.
But you never like, oh, okay, so we've got another craft brew festival. It's always like, yeah, absolutely, we'll have a day out at the craft brew festival.
Yeah, we always. If I need anybody to work on a Saturday, it's a nightmare to get people to work on a Saturday. When I say we need to do the craft brew festival, I've got Gav, Paul and Kyle all going, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do the craft brew festival.
I only need 3.
Yeah, I only need another 2.
3 total.
Yeah,
it'll be good this year. It'll be good to present our beers to
a new audience.
Different geography.
Because we do really well in Birmingham.
Yeah.
At the craft brew festivals, we always tend to be one of the places where, I'm sure everyone's the same. When you look across, you go, we're quite busy. We're quite busy when looking across, but we're known around that area.
You'll be a name that people will look around and think, oh, I know them. I'll have one of them.
Got different.
Yep.
Whereas
and we've always got a lager.
Yes.
And people, when we first launched Zephyr, it was literally hot off the press. Like first pour. Yeah, first pour
Craft
was
Brew
at
Christmas
Craft Brew Christmas 2024, and we had 2 or 3 people that literally only drank our Zephyr, and they were like, I only like lager. And your lager's great.
Isn't it great when somebody keeps coming back?
But we said, we were like, anyway, I'm still in contact with the bloke. And
friends for life.
Yeah, literally. And he was like, oh, it's absolutely brilliant lager. And but that was the point that we were like, well, yeah, if lagers drinkers like it, we know it must be a good lager.
Yeah.
And brilliant.
We've got that great video of that guy. When you said to him, oh mate, Carl from Hobsons, the Craft Brew Festival, what you've been drinking? And he went, basically just this.
He also told me that he needed to drink 15 of them to be able to make his money back, and damn, he did.
And then that other guy that was really hammered, and he went, there's 200 beers at this festival. I've only drank this.
That's the ultimate compliment, though, when people keep coming back again and again. Potential new audiences in Derby and Stoke then. So you're doing that, getting your name out there more. What other things are in the pipeline?
Well, I mean, we do a number of festivals.
Refurb the tap room.
Refurb the tap room. Yeah.
I love their tap room. If you've
seen it since the refurb, haven't you?
I have. Yes.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
It's great. My only gripe is it doesn't open enough.
Well, this is something we're
trying to address.
Yeah. Foodie Fridays are going to continue first Friday of every month
until September. Christmas party.
Hobtoberfest is currently in the works.
We
myself, Mark and Nick. Nick loves an event. Nick could have an event for anything, and he was like, "We're going to do one, aren't we?" We were like, "Yeah, come on, then we'll do it." So so we're going to get that in the works soon. So
spoken to the local baker about making us some pretzels.
Nice. Yeah. Actually, that leads me on. Tell us about your pork scratchers, because these are epic. I've got a packet in front of me here.
Do you know what? They are absolutely delicious. There isn't. We obviously don't produce scratchings.
Yeah, there's not somebody out the back sort of knocking out pork scratchings,
killing pigs, and
we get our scratchings made at the only place you should get scratchings made, which is in the Black Country.
Yeah,
and they are proper pork scratchings, and we've been staring at an open bag and not crunching because of these blue microphones.
Honestly, we've got a few bags of these pork scratchings, and I just want to tear them open. Nobody wants to listen to me crunching on that. This packet here, hand cooked pork scratchings. Hobsons logo is on there. It's things like that just set you apart from other breweries, because they're not doing that.
Yeah, it's a nice little add-on for us, isn't it? It's a bit of brand awareness, sitting on a table in a bar.
That's exactly what it's for. We're not making money out of scratchings.
Yeah.
We're giving we needed to make sure that the product was as good as it could be, so it needed to be the correct scratchings.
Yeah.
But we want people with a bag of Hobson scratchings, sat in a pub with a pint of Hobson's beer, living the Hobson's experience.
Yeah.
It's not too much to ask, is it?
It's not too much to ask. I mean, we do it regularly.
Right, I'm going to ask each of you one thing you love about the industry and one thing you hate about the industry, or that annoys you about the... Hate's a strong word, isn't it? One thing that annoys you about the industry.
I fell in love with the social aspects of the industry. Yeah. I oftentimes don't feel like I'm at work. And I felt out since I was in pubs and all the way through that I think I'm really fortunate to have found myself in a industry where I get to socialise with people and meet great people and talk about great products. I often say to people when I see people at work, and I've said this many times, that when people, it looks like they're having a bad day. So stop getting so stressed about things. Like, we sell beer. Like, we sell a product that is literally there as a conduit to a good time. Like, enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. I dislike the dominance of the international brewers that masquerade themselves as other things, products that are pretending to be other things, and people just buy into it, because we haven't got the marketing spend and the millions to tell our story. And when people are telling a story that's completely artificial and everyone buys into it, and I speak to members of my family and they go, "Oh, I love this new Spanish lager."
Yeah, I knew that's where that was going.
Well, this new Spanish lager, and all due respect to him, when Logan sold Beavertown was a pioneer.
Yeah.
And as was Brewdog, and then they get to a point and no one knows that it's not the same beer anymore. Money can buy you an image that is almost certainly not correct.
Kyle?
I mean, the first point is exactly what Mark, as a person of seniority in the business, it does instill very old. It does instill that you shouldn't be having fun at work. And I genuinely, since I've started, never thought, on a Sunday evening, oh God, I've got to go to work. Hobsons is a great place, and I'm not tooting the on about Hobsons, but the beer industry is great for that reason. You know, you go to all these festivals, you talk to people that you've never talked to, and there's not a single person that won't talk to you. Yeah, for the most part, you know, you're meeting new people. God, we went to BeerX. You speak to that many people, that many suppliers, and just everyone's great.
And over the year, the longer you stay in it, the bigger that sort of
it just gets better and better. Yeah. You get, like, more and more
as
people. As you saw when we walked in, like, and everyone's going, "Hello, mate. Hello, mate. How are you? All right?" It's an industry industry full of great people. Yeah, definitely.
I think everyone should work in the on trade specifically. At some point in their life, it will teach you lessons. It will teach you lessons about service. It will teach you lessons about respect. And it will teach you lessons about having a good time.
What is it about the beer industry, though, that is like that? Because, I know as well, you'll go into these events like BeerX or Brewers Congress, and everybody's, "How you doing? It's great to see you." Is every industry like that?
No.
I can't. No, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I've been passionate about booze since I could, walk. But my very first job in sales was for steel stockholders. And I was selling stainless steel. I mean, how excited can you get about stainless steel?
That's the point.
Yeah.
How excited could you get about it?
Everyone's got the same
And
passion,
we are working in an industry that is, we're selling the whole, booze is great in it.
You have a podcast about this. Yeah. You have a podcast about what we do for the job.
Do you?
But is there a podcast about steel or a podcast?
Probably,
about,
there might be one, but there's
No one's
thousands of
watching.
you.
Oh, I don't know whether I like
Not
that.
as good as you.
We don't talk about that.
Not as good as you. But if I type beer into
there is plenty
podcast,
of them.
there's loads of them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Good point.
And it's because people love it.
Booze, I've always said it's recession proof, isn't it? If you're down
Ish.
but I mean, in terms of
oversell it.
If you're down, you're sad, you're having a bad day, you have a drink.
Yeah.
To commiserate. If you're celebrating and you have a drink
is the answer to whatever.
And I'm not promoting, drink responsibly, but
it's what most people turn to for whatever happens in their life, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think I'm not reducing it to its lowest base level there by I always say this to people. I love the pub. I love drinking. I love the pub. Yeah. Not because I just love booze and I want to get anything down me. I mean, there's a little bit of that maybe, but I love beer and the nuances of
absolutely.
Probably harking back to what we were saying about being pretentious.
I get that completely.
It's interesting. It's exciting.
Where we're sitting right now, this is where I work to do my day job, and I'll sit up here and I'll work for 8 hours, and when I've finished, I want to go to the pub. And my wife will say, oh, just have a drink downstairs. And I want to go to the pub. I want to go and see some life and some people and go to the pub and have a drink. Even if I just sit there having a drink, watching other people. I like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. I always think back when I was a kid, and like my dad would finish work and we would go to the pub to meet my dad and his friends, and we'd sit there. We'd have such a good time, and they'd be having a good time. And it was just, it was a place I associated with just having a good time.
Yeah.
And I still feel that now. When I meet up with my dad now, it's like, where should we meet? Which pub are we going to? And it's automatically which pub are we going to meet at?
Yeah.
And we'll just sit there. We'll have a couple of beers, have a game of pool, and we'll just have a chat. If we went to his house, or we went to my house, we wouldn't sit and chat the same.
Yeah.
Because we'd be talking about other things. We'd be talking about the house, and we'd be talking about what needs doing here, and we'd be watching the telly would be on. But when we're at the pub, we're present and we're speaking. That doesn't mean you have to get absolutely bladdered.
Exactly.
You sit there, you have a couple of nice beers, and you have a chat, and you're one-to-one. There aren't many times in this day and age with the availability of the technology that we have and the at-home entertainment that we have, where you just sit and be present with somebody and speak. And I find that at the pub I do that.
And that's the great thing about a really good pub, is where you've got an eclectic mix of people, and you can sit there and you might be with your dad having a conversation there, and there might be a couple there that are on their first date, and there's a couple over there that are out walking their dog, and everyone's there for a different reason, but also for the same reason. And it's shiver down my spine.
No, you're absolutely right. I get
We've
that
really
completely.
romanticised it there, but I believe every word of it.
Well, like I said, I started working in pubs when I was 12, and I can still when I smell a traditional pub, it's just this. Yeah, it's ingrained. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Because you would do something else if you was at home. You wouldn't be doing that.
No.
Like when me and you go for a beer, and we'd sit there and we talk about stuff. We wouldn't do that if I said, come round my house and have a beer.
Yeah.
Even though the thing we're doing is the same, we're having a beer.
Well, it would be weird if you said, come round my house. Like, it would, though, wouldn't it? Like,
we sat there, I'd feel like I'd have to put something on.
You'd put the TV on.
I'd have to put something on, so that I didn't feel like somebody was going to, Kyle, let me just pull this back. What's the thing you don't like about
the annoyance of the industry?
I was going to come back.
I suppose I don't know.
Well, a professional.
I don't know whether. Yeah, are you going to start your own? Well, actually, funny enough, we do have a podcast, People Pints Politics Podcast.
Actually, you do. Yeah.
It's not really a podcast. It's more we video. We Make Mark Great Again did really well.
Okay.
Which goes back to the other thing. Actually, the one video from the Holly Bush did well as well, but that was just looking at deers. Yeah. So it wasn't really. It's not really
I enjoyed that one. It was good.
Yeah. Maybe we need to speak to you about how we actually do one like this.
What don't you like?
I think, again, from me being a new to the industry and stuff, it's now something that annoys me is that people don't try more beer.
Yeah.
Like, so many people go to a bar, and loads of my mates, I'm going to drop them in it. If I go for a cask, they're like, wait,
what are you doing?
What are you having one of them for? And to be fair, my best mate is a cask drinker, so I'm quite fortunate. And I always, when we were younger...
Who's your best mate?
It was you, Mark. No, I was best man at his wedding, so it can call him my best man.
Imaginary Steve.
My mate Matt, hopefully he listens to this. He is a cask drinker, and I always told him it was because he was cheap.
Did you?
And does he use his camera vouchers as well?
But there's so much on that bar that you could try. Yeah. And there's so many different cool stories, as we said, from people that are brewing these beers, and you're like. Now I go into a bar and I'm like, oh great, it's an opportunity to try something new, and I think it's
just a challenge, isn't it?
It's a cool thing to do.
You do learn that as you get through the industry.
Don't get me wrong, you'll have some bad beer, but you'll have some great beer while you're at it as well.
I've never tried that, so I'm gonna have one.
Yeah, and it's quite a cool thing to do, and like if you can impart that on people.
I meant to ask this before. How many people work for Hobsons?
24, soon to be 25.
It's a good number, isn't it? When you think a lot of breweries that we talk to on this podcast is usually literally a man and his wife, 2 people.
Yeah, it's a big number, and I think it's something that Nick is very proud of.
Yeah,
the fact that he's built this business that employs that many people.
I bet
it feels like a nice size. It doesn't feel small and, I don't want to say tin pot, but like, one-man band kind of.
It feels substantial.
We don't feel like one of the big boys.
It's strange, the perception, isn't it? What you said about that guy.
Yeah, that was someone that I was... Someone that, again, he was the layman, albeit he's a club manager of a sports club. And I was talking to him about Hobsons, and his interpretation, his perception of Hobsons were that we were a Marston's. Like, all he was going off was our branding. He's obviously our pump clip, and in his mind, we were a...
So is that, when you hear a story like that, do you think, great, we're doing really well here because we've created this idea that we're huge and we're not? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Ooh. It's neither, is it?
No.
He lives in an area where there's a lot of town crier.
Right. Okay.
And so, as far as he's concerned,
that's all he sees.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's either.
Paul, your favourite thing about the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing unique really because Mark got in there first. It's the same thing. It's a weird one with me though because I'm naturally an introvert, but this industry is my wheelhouse. It's where I absolutely come alive and passionate. So yeah, pubs on trade absolutely specifically, and it's harks back to why I'm so passionate about real ale. You can't replicate at home a hand-pulled pint of ale, and that's what I love. I love the pub for that. I love real ale for that. Well, yes, unless, like me, you've got a hand pull in your garage. So...
This is why you like to be at home for 7 o'clock every night, isn't it? Because you've got the hand pull in the garage.
7? Christ, not that late.
6, 5. Actually, this is late tonight.
Yeah.
We had to really persuade him to come.
Yeah. And bad thing, we went out the other Saturday in Stourbridge and I have a few drinks and I get that self-righteous kind of... I was talking to a publican basically, and they'd got a product on from a brewery that is now owned by a conglomerate up north. It also owns is a pet food company and all the rest of it. And I said to him, look, we've got a really credible alternative to that beer. He wasn't interested. I was like, really? Do you
walked away.
Yeah, I was embarrassing him. I was like, but it's owned by, like, they're not local now. They're not independent. They're owned by. He didn't care because, as far as he was concerned, it does a job on his bar. And I was like, oh my god, gritted teeth.
He doesn't have the same passion that you have.
No, he doesn't. And that annoys Paul. So, yes, it annoys me because what's he doing behind that bar? I've got a high sense of justice when it comes to things like that.
Well, this is like a perfect example of why I contacted you about the job here, because the day I saw him...
Why are you laughing?
The day I saw him...
It sounded like he was about to cry.
He was selling hand pulls at... it's like I've known Paul for so many years, just through the industry. I've sold to him and we've been against each other head to head in different times, and it looked like the soul had left his body. And I said to him that day,
he's lost it.
God, you look dead behind the eyes, man. What's going on? And as soon as we had a job offer, I was like, Paul, come on. And he was like, oh, please. Yes.
Bring me back from the brink. Yeah.
Where do you see the business in 2, 3, 5 years' time? Do you have a strategy? Is there something written down that you're working towards?
If you go into a supermarket and you have this, you have the what they would call the PBA shelf, the premium bottled ales, and then you have the craft beer shelf. There's nothing in between. We think that's where we sit, and so that's a mark. So you've got a sales based pillar, and you've got a marketing based pillar, and then we have a reduction in our impact. And so that's to do with sustainability and reducing the amount of CO2 that we put into the environment. And we have a target to reduce our CO2 impact on the world within 5 years.
This sounds something you should be shouting about, Kyle.
I do agree that we should be shouting about those things. And just if people would share our videos.
Yeah, just please.
Just come on.
Just comment.
Share. That's one thing we know we have customers out there. And we just maybe it's what's Paul been talking about. Is it the fact that we've got traditional customers and we're trying to get more crafty new customers? Because Facebook for us is great for engagement, but Instagram isn't.
Yeah.
But then when I first started, Instagram was so much like since I've started, we have a lot more views and stuff on Instagram. But we argue we have less engagement.
It's hard to get people to engage with your content.
It is.
More and more.
It is.
When we shared an old video of Nick's dad, Jim.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, we have some
absolutely banged. We need to get Jim in more videos.
We have some fantastic videos that are on YouTube, and funny enough, myself and Mark were filming some drafted content at home when we first were kind of
we
doing
don't
a
live
bit of
together.
launch. Not at home.
Kyle's
In
home.
my home, sorry. And we were sat there watching it, and we were like, "Oh, we'll put some of the Hobsons Brewery on the TV," and we were like, "You can't believe this views. This got like 20 views." We were like, "Oh God, we need to do something with this." So I just cut it up and put it back out there, and did like a few little bit of like how it's kind of blending with what we currently do. Oh, everyone was loving Jim. It was absolutely fantastic.
Didn't he knock me off
He
the
did, he
top
knocked-
spot of
he did.
number one influencer
Temporarily.
within
Temporarily,
Hobsons Brewery?
You're back at number one.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's all I want out of life.
Yeah.
It's almost heartbreaking sometimes when you put so much effort into doing something, especially on Instagram,
Oh, I tell you,
and
there's nothing
gets
worse.
gets the views, but nobody comments on it. That's so.
I mean, you've never had heartbreak until you've just had a great video flop. I'll tell you what, Beerex video that I did, Lord of the Rings, and our breweries leaving the
that was
show
great, that was.
It was-
iconic.
it was
and that
Even
should
I
be,
commented on that.
That should be millions of views.
During COVID times, you could literally take a picture of a can, put it on Instagram, and get hundreds of people liking it. But that has completely changed now.
People on Instagram will tell you they know how to break the algorithm, and they're a liar. Because the people that you see on Instagram that are telling you how to do the algorithm are people that are telling you how to do the algorithm, and it's funny that you're scrolling through those things because you want to do it.
I'll tell you what though.
Yeah.
If you knew how to do the algorithm, you wouldn't be posting about it. You'd just be doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more money in doing it than there is posting about it.
Yeah.
Same as these people that say invest in this stock.
Well, that's exactly the same
If
thing.
it was that good stock, you
You'd
wouldn't
be
tell
doing
anyone.
it. Yeah, you'd be doing it. Every single person that probably you could speak to at Beerex would be going, how do we get every single person to view our content so they know that our raspberry sour is great? But I don't know.
Right, I'm going to go through the three of you now and ask you for your favourite Hobsons beer. Mark, let's start with you.
I'm gonna have to say Citra Mosaic because at my local we have basically everything we do, and I drink Citra, so it has to be Citra.
It is a good beer. I've also been in there and drunk it as well. Kyle?
As much as I can't stray away from Zephyr if it's on a bar, I think my favourite beer is mild, the Champion Nitro.
That's really interesting, isn't it? For a young, I mean, you know, you're younger than us.
Yeah.
Young people don't drink mild.
Oh, it's as I said before, it's the flavour and the fact that it's such an easy drinking beer. It's just
It's a one-man movement.
Yeah.
it is, mate. I mean, if my first ever TikTok video for Hobsons Brewery is "Make Mile Great Again" and me standing on the high street with a cardboard cutout.
I've seen that. Yeah.
and funny enough, that was actually the point at which people went, Is that social media about to change? And I went, I think it might be, you know. I said, I don't really know what I'm about to do with it, but I think this is what we're doing. And I don't know, I think that day, I genuinely think that day changed my life. It was just, it did. Like, trying a mild and then doing that TikTok, I think
It was a great video.
It was a great video.
And we don't need to ask Paul, because obviously the answer is Town Crier.
The obvious answer is Town
I don't
Crier,
think it is.
because I consume ridiculous amounts of Town Crier on a weekly basis.
Sensibly.
I already
Sensibly.
know what this is about to be.
Yeah, you do. So, Dewstone Stout that we put into keg. Yeah. So, our keg stout is incredible, but what we were talking about before about mild, some people don't like it because it's got too much taste.
Yeah.
Our stout falls foul of the same. You know, you get a lot of certain brand stout drinkers that drink it because it
Which
doesn't have a lot of
brand?
taste. I don't know, one where you
Irish one, I
split
think.
split the letter. So every now and again we put a certain amount of Dewstone into cask, just a very, very small amount, very limited run, for a few people that want it. And we did it recently. It's the first time since I joined the business, actually. And Mark and I went over to the fountain in Gornal
for a bit,
and
we were there for a while
to try it. And oh my God, you know when you've just have a beer and it's like, I don't want this to end.
Yes.
You know when something tastes so good that it makes you laugh. Yeah. It was one of those moments. It was so Dewstone in cask, incredible, absolutely incredible.
Now, we have listeners right across the country, in fact all over the world, and many of them might not have had one of your beers. So if they want to put that right and get hold of one, what's the best way to do it?
Bottles via the website, of course. If you're far and wide, just drop us an email and we'll endeavour to tell you a pub that you can go to, or of course purchase from our website.
Yeah, get on that website.
Amazon as well, actually, which is probably a broader.
Yes, that's really. That is so strange you mentioned that. I was looking at Amazon last night and I noticed your beers are on there.
We do well on Amazon, yeah.
Is that a new thing or is
no?
that...
When I joined, we were the number one beer in like ale and gifting on Amazon.
Wow!
Don't know how, don't know why.
Still baffles me that people go on to Amazon to buy beer, but you know,
it's strange, isn't it? But I guess it works.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, it's wild.
I've never personally thought, oh, I want some beer.
I'll go to Amazon.
I'll go on Amazon, but yeah, whatever works for you.
If you're in a pub in Shropshire, Worcestershire, anywhere around there, you'll see Hobsons, won't you? And if you're not, get on the web shop or even get on Amazon and get yourself some, because I think you'd be very, very surprised. A brewery that's quite clearly bridging tradition with modern beer, and it's working really well. Mark, Kyle, Paul, thank you so much for joining me in my loft.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you for having us in your loft.
Thank you for bringing the beer and the scratchings. We'll see you soon.
See you there.
Cheers.
Yes, he got in. Got in.
Daft About Craft, the craft beer podcast.